I'm a big fan of Terrence Malick, and I imagine you are. Can you just describe really what it means to you when you can do a Terrence Malick film, really?
Well, Malick is one of the greats. I think, and I think a lot of people agree. I mean, from Badlands and to Days of Heaven to obviously recently, to The Wonder and Tree of Life. I mean, he's like really making films in his very own way, and I think has influenced every generation that's come after him immensely, more than almost anyone else. I think he's had a really, really big impact on other filmmakers, because I think he has a real connection between the visual and the emotional. He is such a humane filmmaker, and I feel like you leave looking at the world in a different way, with eyes more in love with the world, and despite being aware of its harshness and sadness, and yeah, I think it's an incredible world that you enter when you go into his films.
You appear in the film in Christian's character's life for a part of it. Quite hard scenes as well, but Christian was saying that you seemed to know what was going on and he didn't. So is that true? He was improvising a lot, but did you have more of a clue of what was going on, and you'd throw these lines in and he had to respond? Is that how it was working?
Terry really told us quite deep. Well, I mean, I only know my own experience. He told me quite deeply about my character and what was going on with the character, and gave me books to read and movies to watch, and of course you get all your lines to look at and sort of choose from. He gives like 30 pages of lines, and then you sort of use what you feel right about saying. And I didn't know anything about the other characters, so I'm assuming, I guess Christian didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah. It looked like some of it looked like immense freedom and fun down in Santa Monica, where I assume that you were filming those scenes as well.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of going to places and then being like, now we're going to represent loneliness, or now we're going to represent extreme love, and now we're going to so there were these, it was always about like catching these sort of like instants of emotion and image. Yeah.
His films always make me think of the people that I love, or they always do. You have to take time out and think about it. And is it the same for you as well? I mean, acting in them, for goodness sake, is much more of a big experience, presumably.
Yeah, it's just incredible to be around that kind of humanity and artistry and sense of discovering the world at every minute. I feel like it's really such a creative process, more so than any other filmmaker, because he's discovering everything in every moment. It's not like he's writing the script and then filming the script and then editing the script of the film. He's like writing, and then in the moment while you're filming, he's wanting to discover new things and see if something changes and let that go if something changes, and then in the editing process, it's again trying to find stories within all of the material. So it's really inspiring to watch and to be around.
Do you think that what he says he seems to say in Knight of Cups is right, that what the meaning that so many people, even if they're in your life for a couple of days, can actually bring to your life and change them in some way? Do you think that's right?
Absolutely. I think that the relationships we have with other human beings, whether they're fleeting or lasting, can really change us depending on what happens in them, and it's surprising sometimes how someone for very little can impact you a lot more than someone for a long time, perhaps. And of course, with Christian's character, these series of relationships form his path and his sort of understanding of what journey he's on, because you know, as Terry puts it, he's sort of a pilgrim, but doesn't realize it, that he doesn't know what his journey is.
We're all pilgrims, aren't we, I suppose?
I suppose.